Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Astronaut channel. I'm so glad you've made your way here tonight. Maybe it's been a long day, or perhaps you simply enjoy drifting to sleep with gentle curiosity, letting quiet wonder replace the noise of waking life. There's nothing you need to do now but rest. Let your shoulders soften, your breathing slow, and your thoughts become light. Because tonight, we're taking a peaceful journey. 100 sleepy facts about astronauts, the explorers who leave the Earth behind. From the first dreams of flight, to life aboard the International Space Station, to the deep quiet of a spacewalk, we'll wander softly through their world. If these calm explorations help you rest, feel free to like and subscribe. It helps other sleepy travelers find their way here too. Now, close your eyes and let's begin. Fact 1. The first dreamers of the sky. Long before rockets, before satellites, before anyone truly knew what space was, there were dreamers who looked upward. Ancient people would rest under night skies, watching stars drift like distant embers. They imagined gods, birds, chariots of light. They imagined leaving the ground just for a moment, just to feel the sky. In every time and every land, someone has stood beneath the moon and wondered what it might be like to go there. The very idea of an astronaut began not in science, but in longing, a quiet calling towards something greater than our small horizon. And from that longing, the first steps were taken. Fact 2. A word born from the stars. The word astronaut comes from two ancient Greek roots: astron, meaning star, and nauts, meaning sailor. A sailor among stars. It is a soft name, almost poetic. Not a conqueror, not a warrior, but a traveler, guided gently across a cosmic sea. Other nations have their own names: cosmonaut, a voyager of the universe; taikonaut, a traveler of space in Chinese tradition. But all carry the same quiet idea: a human drifting beyond Earth's cradle, not to escape it, but to better understand it. Fact 3. The call to become weightless. Becoming an astronaut begins not with strength, but with a feeling, a pull in the heart. Some feel it as children, staring at the moon from a backyard. Others feel it later, through science, or flight, or simply curiosity. Astronauts often describe this calling as gentle but persistent, not a shout, but a whisper. Something that says, there is more, just beyond where you stand. The journey is long, full of study, patience, and preparation. But it begins with a single quiet moment of wonder. And beyond that first step, the path unfolds. Fact 4. The long path of training. Training to become an astronaut is not a sprint, but a slow unfolding. Years of learning, practicing, and refining the body and mind. Astronauts study physics, engineering, medicine, navigation, and even the subtle art of staying calm when everything around them changes. They learn how to repair equipment, how to handle emergencies, and how to work gracefully in tight shared spaces. They practice in airplanes that fly in arcs to recreate weightlessness, drifting for seconds at a time like gentle feathers. They learn to move slowly, deliberately, to never rush. Training teaches patience. That space is not conquered, but visited with respect. And from that patience, confidence grows. Fact 5. Minds of calm and steady breath. To travel into space, one must carry stillness. Astronauts train to stay calm, even when alarms echo or machinery trembles. They practice breathing evenly, slowing the rhythm of the heart. Stress becomes something to observe rather than react to. This gentle control is essential in the weightless world. where sudden movements can send a body spinning. Astronauts learn to listen to their own minds the way sailors listen to wind on water, noticing subtle shifts guiding back toward center. Their greatest tool is not strength nor speed, but a quiet and steady awareness. From the breath, everything else follows. Fact 6. Bodies built for the vacuum. The body is not made for space, yet it adapts, slowly and beautifully. Before launch, astronauts build strong bones and muscles, preparing for the months when gravity will loosen its hold. They learn how their hearts will change shape in microgravity, how fluids shift upward toward the head, how balance must be relearned without weight beneath their feet. Every system of the body sings a little differently beyond Earth. So astronauts listen, study, and train to care for themselves and each other. The journey changes them, but gently over time, and soon they grow ready to float. Fact 7. The spacefaring heart. The heart is a quiet traveler in the astronaut's journey. On Earth, it works steadily against gravity, pushing blood downward, helping us stand and move. But in space, where everything floats, the heart no longer needs to work quite so hard. Slowly, it relaxes. It becomes slightly smaller, more efficient. Astronauts learn to strengthen it again with careful daily exercise, gentle cycling, soft resistance bands, calm repetition. Their heartbeat becomes a steady companion, a soft drummer guiding them through the weightless days. Even in the silence of space, the heart continues to speak in its own quiet rhythm. And in that rhythm, life continues, softly. Fact 8. Learning to float. Before leaving Earth. Before astronauts ever touch the stars, they learn how to drift. They practice in enormous pools, clear, silent waters where gravity seems to fade. Wearing full spacesuits, they move slowly underwater, each gesture measured and precise. It teaches them how to act when there is no down, how to turn gently without tumbling, how to place tools exactly where they are needed. The water supports them like a cradle. Bubbles rise in slow, dreamlike trails to the surface. It is here, in this quiet blue world, that astronauts first learn the language of weightlessness. And when they finally reach orbit, the body remembers. Fact 9. Trusting the suit that keeps you alive. A spacesuit is more than clothing. It is a tiny world, a shield of breath, warmth, and pressure. Inside it, the astronaut carries their own weather, their own air, their own fragile safety. It protects them from cold that can bite like crystal, from heat that arrives without warning, from emptiness that would steal breath in an instant. They learn every layer, every seal, every valve and tether. They practice checking it with careful fingers, slow and deliberate, like tying the knot on a lifeline. To trust the suit is to trust a second skin, a guardian between human warmth and the endless night. And soon, the day of launch approaches. Fact 10. The ritual of launch day. Launch day begins quietly. Astronauts wake early, often before sunrise, in a place that feels both familiar and sacred. There is a calm silence as they dress, eat a light meal, and take time to steady breath and thought. Tradition plays a role, signing their name on a door, planting a tree, listening to music that reminds them of home. These small rituals help the mind stay anchored, reminding them that even as they prepare to leave Earth, they are still human, still grounded in simple things. They speak softly with their crewmates, companions who share this strange, beautiful destiny. Technicians help them into their suits, layer by layer, sealing them safely within their own small world of air. When they finally step outside toward the waiting rocket, the sky seems enormous, and everything feels very, very real. Fact 11. The slow walk to the rocket. Walking to the rocket is not fast, nor rushed. Astronauts move with a gentle, quiet dignity, encased in their suits, surrounded by the hum of support crews. But in their minds, everything slows. Each step holds the weight of years, the childhood wonder, the long training days, the tests and trials, the waiting, the hoping. The journey feels both larger than life and peacefully simple, one foot in front of the other. They board an elevator that rises up the launch tower, the world falling away beneath them. The wind moves softly, the sky stretches wide, and Earth feels delicate and dear. Inside the spacecraft, they settle into their seats, lying back in the shape of the rocket itself. Straps are tightened, systems checked, voices speak calmly over radios, and then silence, a stillness before fire. Fact 12. Strapped into the seat of fire. The rocket beneath them is a sleeping giant, fuel and metal waiting to awaken. Astronauts feel the rumble before the movement, a low rising growl like distant thunder. Then with a controlled and powerful force, engines ignite. The vibration travels through bones, through heartbeat, through breath. The body feels heavy, pressed gently back as the rocket climbs. It is not frightening, but overwhelming in its beauty. Earth falling away, atmosphere thinning, sky darkening into deep velvet. The moment gravity loosens is quiet. The body lifts. The straps no longer hold it down. Everything becomes light, a drifting, effortless calm, and the astronauts, at last, enter the ocean of space. Fact 13. The tremble of ignition. Even though astronauts train for years, nothing quite prepares them for the moment the engines awaken. It begins as a subtle vibration, like the quiet purring of a distant machine. Then slowly, the tremble grows. The seat, the chest, the very bones humming with power. The rocket does not leap into the sky. It rises with immense patience, pushing against the weight of Earth with all the strength of fire and fuel. Astronauts breathe slowly here, just as they were taught. Their voices stay calm, steady, measured. They listen to the guidance of mission control, to the rhythm of the engines, to their own heartbeat. Outside, the ground drifts away. Clouds fall beneath them. The world becomes a curved horizon of blue, and the great journey upward has begun. Fact 14. Riding the pillar of flame. To ascend is to lean into trust. Trust in the vehicle, the team, the training, the self. The rocket climbs through layers of sky. First the gentle blue, then deeper and darker hues that fade toward black. The atmosphere thins, and the sound becomes strange, softer inside the cabin, more distant, like thunder heard underwater. What astronauts feel most is acceleration. The body grows heavier, pressed gently but firmly into the seat. Even breathing can feel like lifting a small weight. Yet the mind remains steady. The view beyond the window widens into something impossible to describe. The edge of Earth, glowing with light, curved and shining like a pearl held to the sun. The crew speaks little. Silence is a companion here, not an absence, a shared focus, a quiet awe. The pillar of flame carries them higher, and Earth slowly lets go. Fact 15. The moment gravity lets go. There is a moment, small but unmistakable, when the world changes. The engines cut off. The weight disappears. Astronauts describe this instant as floating into a dream. Limbs lift without effort. Objects drift like feathers suspended in still air. A pen released from the hand does not fall. It simply hangs, waiting to be guided. There is laughter sometimes, soft, surprised, childlike. The joy of rediscovering how the body can move when gravity no longer draws it down. Through the window, Earth fills the view. Blue oceans, white clouds, continents drawn in soft shapes. It feels impossibly close and wonderfully distant at the same time, like looking back at your childhood home from far down a familiar road. In that moment, astronauts know they have truly left the Earth behind, if only for a little while. Fact 16. First glance. Back at the blue planet, the first view of Earth from space is something astronauts carry for the rest of their lives. Through the small window, the world appears not as a map or a globe, but as a living sphere of color. Deep oceans swirl in blues and greens. Clouds flow like soft white brushstrokes across its surface. Continents glow warm and familiar, yet distant, like memories from childhood. There are no borders here, no lines dividing one land from another. Only one home, delicate and luminous, wrapped in a thin, shimmering halo of atmosphere. Astronauts often fall silent when they see it. Some describe tears that rise without sadness, just awe. In that quiet moment, Earth is both immense and fragile, and the traveler, so small, drifts gently above it. Fact 17. The quiet after the roar. Once in orbit, the engines rest. The shaking stops. What remains is an almost dreamlike quiet. Inside the spacecraft, there is a soft, steady hum. Ventilation systems, computers, air recyclers, all working together to keep life gently flowing. This constant whisper of machinery becomes the astronaut's new silence. In microgravity, every motion slows. There is no rush, no need for force. A simple tap on a railing can send a body gliding across the cabin like a leaf drifting on a still pond. Voices are calm. Movements are deliberate. The world, once heavy with noise and gravity, becomes light. This quiet is not loneliness. It is spaciousness, a kind of peace rarely found on Earth. It is here that the journey truly begins. Fact in 18, where up and down disappear. In space, direction becomes something soft and flexible. There is no floor, no ceiling, only surfaces and handholds. Astronauts may sleep with their heads pointed in any direction, may work sideways or upside down, may float gently through a module without touching anything at all. The brain learns to let go of old rules. Objects no longer fall. They hover. Bodies no longer stand. They drift. This freedom can feel playful, like returning to a child's sense of wonder. Yet it also requires mindfulness. A push too strong can send someone spinning slowly, like a dancer turning in water. So astronauts move thoughtfully, with the grace of swimmers in a still, infinite sea. And beyond the windows, the universe waits, open, patient, and endlessly deep. Fact 19. Joining the endless ocean. Above orbit is not a place you reach once and stay still. It is a graceful and constant falling. The spacecraft circles Earth at thousands of miles per hour, yet it feels calm inside, as though resting in a cradle of motion. Astronauts drift through this ocean of silence, carried in a continuous dance around the planet. Outside the window, the world rolls slowly beneath them. Continents sliding past, storms turning like soft ivory spirals, oceans shimmering in sunlight. Time feels different here, slower in the mind, faster in the world below. There is no sound in space, only the gentle hum of the vessel and the hiss of air circulating. The universe stretches endlessly in every direction, and the astronauts become sailors of this quiet sea. Fact 20. The floating body. In weightlessness, the body becomes something new. Astronauts move not by lifting legs, but by gliding from handhold to handhold, pushing lightly with fingertips or the tips of their feet. The spine lengthens, relieved of gravity's constant pull. Many astronauts grow a little taller while in orbit. Muscles relax in ways unfamiliar. The neck softens. The shoulders open. There is a sense of lightness that feels dreamlike, as though the entire body has been freed from an invisible weight. But new habits must form. Without gravity, the body must learn again how to stay oriented, how to reach, how to rest. Even a simple turn requires care. Too strong a push, and one might drift slowly across the room in an unintended dance. With patience, movement becomes fluid. Space teaches its own quiet choreography. Fact 21. Muscles that must remember strength. Though weightlessness is gentle, it also asks for discipline. Without gravity, muscles no longer need to lift or hold the body, and so they begin to soften. To keep them strong, astronauts follow daily exercise routines. Not rushed, not forceful, but steady. They use elastic bands, stationary bicycles, and machines that create resistance without heavy weights. The workouts are calm and controlled, designed to remind the body how to stay strong even while floating. It is both physical and mindful, a moment of grounding, even in a place where nothing touches the ground. The exercise is not about power, but about preservation, a quiet conversation between body and mind, saying, "We are still here, we are still whole." And afterward, the drifting feels even lighter. Fact 22. Bones that grow more delicate. Our bones are shaped by gravity. On Earth, every step, every stretch, every simple act of standing asks our bones to carry weight. And in doing so, they grow strong. But in space, the body no longer needs to support itself. Without gravity pulling downward, the bones begin to change. They slowly release minerals, becoming lighter, more delicate. Astronauts monitor this carefully. Their diets include extra calcium and vitamin D. Their exercise becomes not just for strength, but for the quiet conversation between the skeleton and the muscles that remind the bones to stay whole. The body adapts, reshaping itself to the conditions of the universe. And when astronauts return to Earth, the bones remember gravity again. Fact 23. The strange shift of body fluids. On Earth, gravity gently draws our blood and bodily fluids downward. But in space, where everything floats, the fluids rise, drifting upward into the chest, neck, and head. Faces become rounder, cheeks more full, noses feel slightly stuffy. Astronauts call it the puffy head, bird legs effect. It feels unusual at first. A gentle pressure behind the eyes, a slight fullness in the face. But like all things in space, the body learns. Systems adjust. Comfort returns. The heart also adapts, sending blood more carefully, as though it too is learning to float. This shift is subtle but constant, a reminder that space is not just emptiness, but an entirely different environment where even the blood must relearn its path. And in that quiet adjustment, the body becomes something new. Fact 24. The puffy-faced astronaut. There is a softness to the way astronauts look in space. Without gravity, the face takes on a gentle roundness. Eyes slightly wider, cheeks a bit fuller, lips relaxed. It is not dramatic, just different, like seeing oneself in a calm, warm reflection. The change is temporary, harmless, a simple result of fluids redistributing in the body. But astronauts sometimes laugh about it, sharing photos or smiles with family back on Earth. A reminder that even among the stars, there is room for lightness, for humor, for everyday joy. And when the astronauts return home, gravity will quietly gather everything back to where it once was. The face will settle, the legs will regain fullness, and the body will remember how to be earthbound. But for now, in orbit, there is only drifting softness, a gentle roundness that matches the quiet beauty of the journey. Fact 25. The gentle art of moving slowly. In space, quick motions are rarely helpful. A sudden push or twist can send an astronaut drifting, spinning softly like a leaf caught in a breeze with no ground to land on. So movement becomes an art of patience. Smooth, quiet, deliberate. Astronauts learn to guide themselves with fingertips, using the lightest touch to change direction, to pause, to approach. Every gesture carries intention. The body becomes graceful through necessity, as though floating teaches a new kind of dance. Even turning one's head is done with care, because momentum behaves differently when nothing weighs you down. Over time, the astronauts begin to feel as though they are moving through water or through a dream, where motion has no hurry and the world has no corners. In this softness, the body finds ease. Fact 26. Sleeping in a tethered dream. Sleep in space is unlike sleep on Earth. There is no mattress, no pillow, no sensation of sinking into warmth. Astronauts sleep inside small, cocoon-like sleeping bags that are gently attached to the wall or ceiling, though in space, those two are the same. Their bodies float freely inside the bag, held only by the fabric and the steady rhythm of breath. It can feel almost like drifting through a night sky, weightless, suspended, unburdened. The spine lengthens, the joints relax, and the body experiences a kind of pure rest rarely felt on Earth. There is no rolling over, no shifting position. The body simply is, calm, suspended in stillness. And as astronauts drift into dreams, Earth continues to rise and fall beneath them, turning silently through space. Sleep becomes a gentle surrender to floating. Fact 27. Eating without crumbs. Meals in space are quiet, careful rituals. Without gravity, crumbs and droplets do not fall. They drift. A single crumb could float into a filter, a vent, or a delicate instrument. So food is prepared in soft packets, Velcroed trays, and sealed containers. Forks and spoons can be used, but every motion is slow, mindful. Drinks are sipped through straws from pouches, the liquid forming perfect spheres if released. Astronauts sometimes watch a floating bubble of juice shimmer like a tiny planet before gently capturing it again. Meals are not hurried. They are shared moments of stillness, conversation, and connection, a reminder that even far from home, the simple act of eating together can bring warmth. In the quiet hum of the station, food becomes comfort, familiarity, and a soft taste of Earth. Fact 28. Drinking water that forms silver spheres. Water behaves like something magical in space. Without gravity pulling it downward, it gathers itself into floating, shimmering spheres. Perfect round droplets that drift gently through the cabin air. Astronauts drink by guiding these delicate shapes into their mouths, or by using special pouches with straws to keep the water contained. Sometimes, just to understand it better, they watch the droplets hover, tiny crystal worlds reflecting the glow of cabin lights. If touched, the spheres tremble, wobbling like soft jewels before merging back together again. It is a reminder that even the most ordinary things become extraordinary in space. A sip of water becomes a moment of wonder, a gentle lesson in how the universe behaves when freed from weight. And in that simple act of drinking, the astronaut learns how to live lightly. Fact 29. Washing with no running water. Hygiene in space requires creativity. There are no showers here, no faucets to turn, or streams of warm water to step beneath. Instead, astronauts use soft cloths, gentle soaps that do not need rinsing, and small amounts of water that they guide carefully across the skin. Every drop is precious, floating like a tiny pearl that must be contained, tended, respected. Hair is washed with no rinse shampoo, massaged in slow circular motions that spread through the strands like a calming ritual. Faces are cleaned with warm cloths that bring a quiet moment of grounding, a sense of normal life carried far above the earth. This routine is simple, slow, and unhurried. Self-care becomes something gentle, thoughtful, and deeply human. Even among stars, we still tend to ourselves with kindness. Fact 30. The window that shows all of humanity. There is a window aboard the International Space Station called the cupola, a round, many-paned observatory that opens to the entire Earth. Astronauts drift there often, placing their hands lightly on the edges, anchoring themselves as they gaze downward. Below them, cities sparkle like scattered embers. Lightning flickers through clouds like veins of silver light. Mountains rise like folded whispers of land, and oceans turn in slow, living waves of blue. But most of all, astronauts see home. One world shared by everyone they have ever known. Borders fade. Differences soften. Everything becomes one fragile, shining sphere floating in infinite night. Many astronauts say this view changes them forever. It quiets something inside. It opens something gentle, something compassionate, and when they look away, they do so slowly. Fact 31. Watching sunrises. Every 90 minutes. Orbit moves quickly. The International Space Station circles the Earth roughly once every hour and a half. That means astronauts witness sunrise, the soft glow of day returning, about 16 times every single Earth day. Each sunrise is different. Some bloom in quiet pinks, some blaze gold across the horizon, and some appear as thin blue lines curved over Earth's edge. The light does not spill slowly as it does from the ground. It arrives in a gentle sweep, like a curtain opening to reveal color spread across the world. Astronauts often pause to watch, even if only for a moment, because each sunrise reminds them of the rhythm of the planet's breath. Light, dark, light again, a steady, calming heartbeat of Earth. And while the sun rises so many times, it never becomes ordinary. Fact 32. A world that always turns beneath you. From orbit, astronauts don't watch the world from above the way one might watch still scenery. The Earth moves. It rolls slowly, smoothly, endlessly, like a great living painting changing with each passing minute. Clouds swirl in enormous white spirals. Oceans sweep in vast shades of blue, and cities glow softly in the night. The line between day and night, the Terminator, slides gently across the Earth, splitting light from shadow in an unbroken band. The planet continues its quiet rotation, just as it has for billions of years, unhurried and calm. Watching the world turn from space can feel like listening to a song with no beginning and no end, only flow. It reminds astronauts that life moves continuously, even when we are still. And in that understanding, a deep peace settles. Fact 33. The soft hum of life support. Inside the spacecraft, silence is never absolute. There is always a faint, steady hum, the sound of systems working to keep life gently balanced. Fans circulate the air, filters refresh oxygen, devices quietly clean and warm the atmosphere. This soft mechanical whisper becomes like a constant lullaby, familiar and reassuring. Astronauts learn to rest within it, to let it fade into the background of their thoughts, like rain falling softly on a window. The hum means safety. It means breath. It means the world they carry with them, warmth, pressure, air, is holding steady in the vastness of space. In time, the hum becomes part of the rhythm of life itself, a reminder that even in the darkest quiet, there is always support, always care, always presence. And in that gentle sound, sleep comes easily. Fact 34. Tools that must Velcro to the walls. In space, even the simplest objects must be given gentle consideration. A pen, a spoon, a pair of scissors. Anything not secured will quietly drift away, floating without direction. So the walls of the station are lined with strips of Velcro, magnetic plates, and small loops where tools can rest safely. Astronauts learn to place things back immediately after use, not out of strictness, but out of harmony with their surroundings. A missing object does not fall to the floor. It becomes a traveler, gliding slowly through the cabin like a wandering thought. Sometimes, a tool drifts for hours before being found, gently rotating in a corner where the air currents collect. In this environment, care is second nature. Every object has a home, and every movement is mindful. Space teaches tidiness through grace, not rules. Fact 35. Laughter that drifts. Even far from Earth, laughter finds its way into the quiet of the station. When astronauts laugh in microgravity, their bodies float with the movement, shoulders lifting, legs drifting, whole selves carried upward by the joy of the moment. The sound moves softly through the pressurized cabin, echoing gently against smooth walls and rounded corners. Crewmates share jokes, tell stories from home, celebrate small achievements, like catching a floating chocolate drop with perfect timing, or learning to do a slow-motion somersault. Their laughter is light, easy, unforced, a reminder that even in the realm of stars, humans still feel wonder, humor, companionship. Laughter is a tether too. It keeps the heart connected to warmth, to home, to what makes life soft and meaningful. And in space, laughter truly floats. Fact 36. The game's astronauts. Play life in orbit has work and responsibility, but it also has moments of quiet joy. Astronauts invent gentle games. Who can spin the slowest somersault? Who can guide a floating candy into their mouth using only breath? Who can glide from one end of a module to the other without touching anything? These games are not competitions. They are play in its purest form. The kind of play children know instinctively, where movement itself is delight. Weightlessness turns every small action into something graceful, whimsical, and calming. Play keeps the mind light. It reminds astronauts that even extraordinary places can feel like home when approached with curiosity and gentleness. And in these drifting moments of joy, space feels less vast and more like a quiet room shared with friends. Fact 37. Music, echoing in a pressurized cabin. Even in space, music finds its place. Astronauts bring songs from home, melodies tied to memories, cultures, families, and distant landscapes. When music plays aboard the station, the sound carries softly through the pressurized modules, warm and smooth, without the sharp echo of large rooms on Earth. It feels intimate, like listening inside a cozy shelter during a quiet snowfall. Sometimes music is shared, a favorite song passed between crewmates from different nations, different languages, yet heard together in a moment of stillness. Other times, astronauts listen alone, drifting near a window, watching Earth turn far below as familiar notes remind them of the ground they came from. Music becomes an anchor, a bridge between worlds, a soft reminder that home is never truly far away. Fact 38. Celebrating holidays far from home. The calendar continues even in orbit. Birthdays, holidays, and cultural celebrations arrive gently, wrapped in memory and tradition. Astronauts mark these moments with small touches: a special meal from Earth, decorations taped to a wall, a music playlist shared between friends. Families call from the ground, voices traveling across thousands of miles, reaching the station like soft and treasured echoes. These moments are tender, filled with quiet gratitude and the awareness of distance. There is joy, but it is gentle, held delicately, like a warm candle flame in still air. Crewmates become family too, gathering around a floating meal, offering laughter, stories, and companionship. Even in the vastness of space, humanity continues, familiar and warm. The stars may surround them, but the heart remains connected to Earth. Fact 39. Sending a message back to Earth. Communication is a lifeline among the stars. Astronauts speak with mission control daily, calm voices sharing guidance and reassurance, like gentle travelers on the same long road. But they also send messages to loved ones, emails, video calls, recorded greetings, small notes of love and remembrance. The delay is not long, but the meaning is deep. Each message is a bridge across distance, a thread connecting two worlds, the drifting quiet of orbit and the familiar rhythm of life below. Sometimes, an astronaut will pause before sending a message, taking a moment to watch Earth turning slowly beneath them. They might think about a specific place, a specific person, a memory that suddenly feels close again. Connection does not fade in space. It simply stretches, long and luminous, like starlight traveling across the dark. And when a voice returns from home, the heart settles gently. Fact 40. A home that never stops falling. The International Space Station does not float above the Earth by being still. It stays in orbit by falling. It is always falling toward the planet, drawn gently by gravity, while moving forward so quickly that it continually misses the ground. This graceful balance creates a state of perpetual freefall, the cradle of weightlessness. Inside this falling home, astronauts feel suspended, unanchored yet supported. Their bodies drift, untethered by force, held instead by the stillness of motion. This is not the absence of gravity, but a partnership with it, a soft, continuous dance. To live aboard the station is to live within motion itself, wrapped in the quiet curve of Earth's orbit, a home that falls forever, yet never lands. Fact 41. Built piece by floating piece. The space station was not built at once. It arrived in orbit one part at a time, like a puzzle assembled in the sky. Astronauts carried modules, solar wings, laboratories, living spaces. Each piece launched separately, then guided and joined together by hands and patience. Construction took years, and it continues still, in small ways. Additions, repairs, improvements, all done in the silent vacuum beyond the airlock. To build in space requires slow, careful motion. Every movement must be deliberate, tools secured, gestures graceful, minds unhurried. Piece by piece, orbit by orbit, the station grew, not just through engineering, but through cooperation. It is a home made by many nations, many hearts, many hands, a shared shelter above the world. Fact 42. A laboratory in the sky. The space station is more than a home. It is a place of discovery. Inside it, astronauts conduct experiments that cannot be performed on Earth because gravity on the ground hides certain truths. They watch how cells grow when they do not settle. They study how flames behave without rising. They learn how plants search for direction when there is no up. These quiet experiments reveal the secret language of nature, how matter and life behave when touched only by stillness. Every observation is gentle. Every result is something new. In this slow, floating laboratory, science feels less like solving and more like listening. Listening to the universe speak softly in conditions found nowhere else. The ISS is not just a station. It is a whispering observatory of wonder, a place where curiosity drifts like light. Fact 43. Experiments that can only happen. Here, the space station is a unique environment where the constant free fall of orbit creates a quiet suspension unlike any place on Earth. In this gentle weightlessness, scientists can study behaviors that gravity would otherwise hide. Fluids no longer settle. They form smooth spheres. Cells grow without being pulled downward, revealing patterns and shapes unseen at home. Crystals form more purely, their structures more orderly, as though gravity's absence allows them to express their most delicate geometry. Astronauts work like caretakers in this sky-bound laboratory, tending to growing plants, observing reactions, guiding experiments with slow and thoughtful hands. Each discovery adds to our understanding of life, medicine, materials, and the universe itself. Here, knowledge unfolds softly, like petals opening in the quiet of dawn. Fact 44. The air that must always circle. Air inside the space station is precious. There is no breeze, no open sky to refresh it, no trees to make it new. So the air must be constantly guided, filtered, balanced, stirred, and renewed. Fans hum gently, moving air so it does not gather in still pockets where carbon dioxide could collect unnoticed. Every breath an astronaut takes becomes part of this delicate loop. What they exhale is captured, cleaned, transformed, and returned as fresh air again. It is a reminder of how intimately life is connected. One breath feeding into the next in a quiet circle. On Earth, we rarely think about the air around us. In space, it becomes something sacred, something to appreciate, to listen to care for. The atmosphere inside the station is a soft cradle of life, held carefully in a world of silence. Fact 45. Recycling. Every breath. Resources in space are not replaced. They are renewed. Water, for instance, is captured from every possible source. The moisture in the air, the humidity in breath, even the condensation and waste that would be discarded on Earth. Machines on the station clean and transform it, returning it to drinkable purity. Astronauts sometimes smile at the idea that the water they drink today may have been the vapor they breathed yesterday, or the vapor someone else breathed. But in this closed loop, something beautiful happens. Every part of life nourishes the next. This recycling is not merely efficiency, it is harmony. It teaches astronauts to see life as a continuum, where nothing is wasted and everything is part of a gentle cycle. A message whispered softly. We are all connected by the breath we share. Fact 46. Growing plants without soil. In the gentle weightlessness of space, plants learn to grow differently. There is no up for stems to stretch toward, no down for roots to bury themselves inside. Instead, plants respond to light, turning their leaves toward the soft glow of special lamps, reaching out in quiet curiosity. Their roots spread in all directions, drifting through spongy growth material that holds water like tiny droplets suspended in time. Astronauts tend to these small green companions with patience. trimming leaves, guiding stems, studying how life adapts when separated from the pull of Earth. The plants respond not just by surviving, but by thriving. Leaf by leaf, they become tiny gardens in orbit. And when new sprouts unfurl, it reminds the crew that life continues everywhere it's given a chance, even among the stars. Fact 47. Studying fire that doesn't flicker on Earth. Fire dances upward, shaped by warm air rising and cool air rushing in. But in space, there is no up, and so flame behaves like something dreamlike. In microgravity, fire forms soft, perfect spheres, glowing orbs of color that hover like miniature suns. They burn slowly, steadily, without flicker or flame tip, breathing in oxygen spread evenly through the air. Astronauts observe these gentle fires with careful instruments, learning how flames behave when gravity is absent. The knowledge helps us understand combustion, safety, and the hidden nature of heat. The flame's slow, steady shape becomes a reminder. Even something known so well can reveal new beauty when freed from weight. In space, even fire seems to exhale. Fact 48. Water, reborn from vapor. Every drop of water aboard the station is precious. There are no oceans outside the window to drink from, no rain to collect, no rivers to follow. So the spacecraft reclaims almost everything. The moisture from breath, the mist from showers, the vapor from warm air. Filters, condensation traps, and purification systems transform this vapor back into clear, drinkable water. It is a gentle cycle, like morning fog settling into lakes, like clouds gathering rain, but held softly inside metal walls suspended in space. Astronauts learn to appreciate each sip. Water becomes not just refreshment, but presence, a sign that life is cared for, supported, tended to, with quiet intention. Every drink is a small miracle of renewal, and in that renewal, astronauts find gratitude. Calm, simple, deep. Fact 49. The shared table of many nations. The International Space Station is not owned by one country. It is a home built by many, a place where cultures, languages, and traditions float together. Astronauts from different corners of Earth gather at a small table, their meals drifting gently beside them, their stories weaving together like constellations of memory. They share food from home, Japanese miso soup, Russian soups warmed from pouches, tortillas from America that won't crumble in weightlessness. They speak in many languages, sometimes mixing words, sometimes speaking through gestures and laughter alone. And always, there is respect, a quiet understanding that this place, suspended above the world, belongs to everyone. In space, the idea of us grows larger. Humanity becomes one family, sharing one small table, circling one shared home. Fact 50. Preparing for the doorway to space. Before stepping outside the station, astronauts undergo a slow ritual of readiness. They check their spacesuits carefully. Every seal, every layer, every valve. The suit is not clothing, but a tiny world, a life-sustaining sanctuary that must hold them safe in the quiet void beyond the walls. They breathe pure oxygen to clear nitrogen from their blood, preventing the bends. They test their radios, tighten gloves, secure tethers. Each motion is deliberate, each action unhurried. The preparation can take hours, a gentle reminder that space welcomes no haste. Crewmates assist one another, helping seal helmets and guiding attachments with steady, practiced hands. The airlock closes around them like a slow exhale, and in the quiet, they wait, suspended between the warmth of the station and the endless night outside. Fact 51. Wearing a personal spaceship. A spacesuit is more than protection. It is a small floating habitat. Inside, astronauts carry their own air, their own pressure, their own gentle climate. The suit holds warmth against the cold of space and shields the body from sunlight that has no atmosphere to soften its touch. Each suit has layers, fabric, insulation, metal-like threads, and a cooling system of tiny circulating water tubes that keep the astronaut comfortable. The helmet's visor glows with a thin golden film, protecting their eyes from the harsh brilliance of unfiltered sunlight. The suit feels both heavy and light, heavy with purpose, light in the absence of gravity, a cocoon of life wrapped in silence. Outside the airlock, the universe waits, wide, still, infinite. The astronaut takes a breath and begins to step out into the stars. Fact 52. The slow reach into the void. When the airlock door opens, the universe appears all at once. There is no horizon, no sound, no breeze, only the deep, endless expanse of space stretching in every direction. Astronauts step forward carefully, guided not by their feet, but by their hands, holding onto rails and tether lines as they float outward. The first sensation is not fear, but awe. The body knows it is far from Earth, yet the mind is struck by peace, by how quiet the cosmos truly is. The stars do not twinkle here. They shine steady, clear, unblinking. The astronaut moves slowly, like a diver leaving the shoreline. Every gesture is a whisper of motion, gentle and precise. Outside, there is only stillness and the soft rhythm of breath within the suit. Fact 53. Trusting the tether that connects you. A thin line, the safety tether, links the astronaut to the station. It is small, light, and seemingly simple, yet it carries profound meaning. It is the thread that ties one human life to home, to shelter, to gravity, to the world they came from. Astronauts check this tether again and again, not from fear, but from respect. They move with calm confidence, knowing that every motion, every step along the station's exterior is supported by this quiet companion. The tether never pulls sharply. It simply remains, a constant presence, like a hand resting calmly in another's, a reminder that we are always connected, even in the most distant places. And with that connection comes freedom. Freedom to explore, to repair, to reach. Floating, but never lost. Fact 54. Moving, like a diver, among stars. Outside the station, the astronaut drifts slowly along its shining surface. The world rolls beneath them, oceans turning, continents drifting, clouds unfolding in endless white spirals. Above and around them stretches the dark sea of space, vast and deep, untouched and silent. Movement becomes an art. There is no rushing, no sudden force. Each motion is practiced, graceful, guided by hands that hold railings and tools designed to work in silence. The astronaut feels like a diver exploring a coral reef, except the reef is made of metal and starlight, and the ocean is the infinite night. Time softens here, breath becomes steady. The universe feels close enough to touch, and in this floating dance, the astronaut understands humans were not made for space, and yet, somehow, we belong here too. Fact 55. Tools that click in forever silence. In space, tools make no sound against the vacuum outside. No clink, no scrape, no echo. Yet astronauts hear every motion through the vibrations that travel through their gloves, their arms, and into their bodies. It is a quiet language of touch rather than sound. Each tool is specially designed. Wrenches that lock gently into place, handles made to be held by pressurized gloves, instruments that secure with tether lines so they cannot drift away. The clicks and turns are slow, measured, careful, like tuning a delicate musical instrument. There is no hurry here, only patience, focus, and the awareness that every gesture is part of a gentle dance in a place where silence stretches in all directions. Working in space is a conversation with stillness. Fact 56. The Sun. Without an atmosphere, on Earth, sunlight is softened by the air, filtered through sky, clouds, and the gentle scattering of light. But in space, the sun is unfiltered. It appears as a brilliant, unwavering sphere, so bright and sharp-edged that it feels almost unreal. Its light is pure, intense, and immediate. It casts shadows with perfect clarity, dark and defined. There is no haze, no shimmer of heat rising off the ground, no diffusion of glow. When the sun touches a surface in space, it warms it quickly. But when the station passes into Earth's shadow, the warmth vanishes in an instant, replaced by deep, profound cold. Astronauts learn to respect this contrast, the sudden switch from brilliant light to silent darkness. It reminds them that space does not soften anything, and yet it is still gentle in its own quiet way. Fact 57. The cold that bites instantly. Space is not just cold, it is the absence of warmth altogether. There is no air to carry heat, no wind to chill, no ground to radiate warmth back. Instead, objects in shadow become cold as stone, while those touched by sunlight can glow with heat. A spacesuit must balance these extremes carefully. Layers of insulation, cooling systems, and reflective surfaces all work together to keep the astronaut's temperature steady and safe. Inside the suit, the astronaut rarely feels the temperature shift directly, but they are aware of it, always. They know that just beyond the thin shell of their suit lies a world where warmth must be protected, carried, cherished. The cold of space is not harsh, it is simply quiet, a reminder of the stillness beyond Earth's gentle cradle. Fact 58. The view that changes a life. Floating outside the station, tethered to life, yet surrounded by silence, astronauts see Earth in a way few ever will. The planet stretches beneath them like a living painting. Oceans swirling with deep blues, deserts softly golden, forests dark and rich like velvet. Clouds curl in delicate spirals, and the thin blue atmosphere glows like a fragile halo of breath. There is no boundary where one land ends and another begins. Only one world, continuous and whole. Many astronauts say that in this moment, something inside them shifts, not with words, but with feeling. A deep tenderness rises, a soft ache of love for the world they came from. Not just for a country or a city, but for all of it. The view doesn't just show beauty, it shows unity, and the heart remembers it forever. Fact 59. Coming back, inside changed. Re-entering the airlock after a spacewalk is a quiet transition. The outer door closes, and the universe slips away behind metal and seal. Air returns slowly, a soft hiss filling the chamber. Pressure rising, temperature stabilizing, breath becoming ease again. Astronauts speak little in these moments. They simply float, steadying their hearts, letting the experience settle like gentle snowfall inside them. The helmet comes off. A cool wave of familiar air touches the face. The suit grows lighter, and the body moves freely again within the soft, breathable world of the station. But inside, something is different. A subtle widening of perspective, a quiet deepening of awareness, a softness toward life. Stepping back into the station, an astronaut knows they are the same person as before, but also not the same at all. Fact 60. packing for the journey back. Eventually, every mission draws softly toward its close. The astronauts gather their belongings, photos taped to walls, small personal items, journals filled with notes of days spent drifting among the stars. They pack slowly, knowing that soon gravity will return and the body will feel its pull again. The station hums quietly as they prepare the spacecraft that will carry them home. Systems are checked, equipment secured, and final farewells shared in warm, unhurried tones. There is no rush, only gratitude for the sunsets and sunrises that came every 90 minutes, for the laughter that floated, for the view of Earth that rested like a jewel beneath them. Returning is not an ending. It is a gentle return to where the story first began. Back to gravity, back to home, back to the embrace of Earth. Fact 61. The controlled fall toward Earth. Returning to Earth begins with a gentle push, a small engine burn that slows the spacecraft just enough. This soft change in speed allows gravity to reclaim the travelers, drawing them back from orbit. The spacecraft does not dive. It glides in a slow, careful descent, wrapped in silence and anticipation. Inside, astronauts feel gravity start to return, like a memory waking in the bones. The body grows slightly heavier. Breath feels more grounded. Straps press with soft insistence. The world outside remains black at first, the planet hidden beneath a veil of distance. Yet the journey downward is calm, steady, measured. A return, not of falling, but of coming home. Earth waits below, quiet and blue, like a familiar song beginning again. Fact 62. Heat that burns the sky. Away. As the spacecraft enters the atmosphere, it meets air moving swiftly past its hull. The friction creates heat, intense, glowing, radiant. The exterior blazes with fire, though the cabin inside remains cool and protected, shielded by careful layers of material designed to turn flame into nothing but light. Through the small window, astronauts sometimes see the soft orange glow outside, like sunrise happening directly around the ship. The light flickers and dances, but inside there is peace. Every sound is muffled, every vibration steady and guided. The Earth draws closer with each passing moment. Clouds begin to form in shapes they remember. Blue deepens, green returns. The sky becomes familiar once more. Fact 63. The parachutes. That bloom. When the spacecraft reaches lower air, parachutes open. Slow, unfolding flowers of fabric that catch the wind with enormous grace. They bloom in stages, each one larger than the last, each one calming the descent a little more. The fall becomes a sway, a cradle-like rocking that feels gentle after the long journey from the stars. Inside the cabin, astronauts feel their weight again. Their bodies are heavier now, legs anchored, muscles awakening to gravity like roots remembering the Earth. There is effort in every breath, every motion, but also a familiar comfort. Soon the ground rises to meet them. A landing, sometimes soft, sometimes firm, marks the end of the journey. The door will open. Air, real air, fresh and living, will touch their faces, and Earth will welcome them home. Fact 64. The landing, gentle or hard touching. Down on Earth is rarely graceful. The spacecraft may settle softly onto land or ocean, like a feather finding home. Or it may thump solidly against the ground with a firm reminder that gravity has returned. Either way, the moment is meaningful. A full circle breath, a closing of the journey's loop. Inside, astronauts feel their weight return all at once. Arms that once floated now rest heavily against their legs. Necks hold heads again. The body remembers gravity slowly, like waking from a long and delicate dream. Rescue teams arrive with warm smiles and gentle hands. They help astronauts stand, offer blankets, check pulses and hearts and eyes, not from fear, but from care. It is not dramatic. It is human, a welcome home embraced in calm. Fact 65. Standing on heavy legs again. The first steps back on Earth feel unusual, like wearing boots made of stone. After living in weightlessness, the legs must remember how to hold the body, how to balance, how to step forward with deliberate grounding. Muscles that once guided slow drifting must now lift and support again. Astronauts often smile at this sensation. There is humor in the wobbling movements, in the gentle rediscovery of being held by the Earth. They move slowly, leaning on companions or support rails, taking time to reawaken strength. The world feels heavier, but also more real. The air smells richer. Colors feel deeper. Gravity, once unnoticed, becomes a warm, quiet embrace. These first steps are not just physical. They are a return to the rhythm of being human. Fact 66. Relearning how to walk. In the days that follow, astronauts gently retrain their bodies. They walk short distances, then longer. They stretch and press their feet into the ground, feeling the firmness of soil, floor, earth beneath them. Balance returns like memory, slow, then steady. The heart strengthens again, its shape adjusting to the pull of gravity. Fluids settle back downward. Bones begin to rebuild density, one patient day at a time. This relearning is not rushed. It is a reunion between the body and the planet that shaped it. A soft remembering of the way we belong to Earth, and Earth belongs to us. With each step, the astronaut becomes a traveler returned, carrying the quiet of space within them. And the sky, once distant, becomes a promise again. Fact 67. The taste of fresh air. The first breath of outdoor air after returning from space is something astronauts never forget. It is rich, textured, layered with scents the body remembers deeply. Pine, ocean breeze, desert dust, rain-soaked earth. Whatever the landscape may be, the air feels alive. It carries warmth, coolness, history, and home all at once. After months of breathing carefully filtered air, the atmosphere of Earth feels full and generous. It has weight, it has flavor, it fills the lungs with something that feels emotional as much as physical. Some astronauts close their eyes for that first breath. They inhale slowly, letting the air settle into their chest, their ribs, their heart. The breath becomes a homecoming, a gentle reminder that Earth sustains, quietly, constantly, tenderly. Fact 68. Reuniting with loved ones. Seeing family again can be soft, quiet, and deeply moving. There's no need for grand words. Often, a single embrace carries everything. The distance traveled, the silent awe of space, the grounding warmth of human presence. Arms wrap around shoulders, still remembering weightlessness. Faces press close. No one rushes the moment. Sometimes tears come, but they are gentle, not of sadness, but of returning, of belonging. Children may look at the astronaut differently, with wonder, pride, curiosity, but soon they simply see parent once again. Laughter returns easily. Stories are shared slowly, in pieces, over meals, over quiet mornings, over nights spent under skies full of stars. Reunion is not dramatic. It is tender, like waking up beside someone you love after a very long dream. Fact 69. The stories told softly. Astronauts do not always speak loudly about their journey. The words they choose are careful, thoughtful, as though the experience belongs not to explanation, but to reflection. They may talk about the science, the training, the view from the cupola, but the deepest part, the quiet shift inside, often comes in softer, gentler conversations. Late-night talks on porches, quiet walks under trees, moments where someone asks, softly, "What was it really like?" And then the astronaut describes it. The stillness, the drifting, the sight of Earth hanging in a velvet sky, the realization that everything we love is held together on one small, beautiful sphere. These stories are offered with warmth, not distance, an invitation, not a lesson, not to impress, but to remind. We are all travelers on the same world. Fact 70. The quiet strength of focus. Astronauts are often known not for boldness, but for calm. Their work requires attention that is steady and clear, the ability to see many things at once without being overwhelmed. Focus becomes less about intensity and more about presence, being fully where they are, breathing slowly, responding thoughtfully. In space, panic has no place. There is no ground to brace against, no room for rushed decisions. So astronauts cultivate a mind that can settle like still water, a calm that can be trusted. This kind of strength is quiet, gentle, and deeply human. It remains with them long after they return to Earth. The lesson is simple. Clarity begins with stillness. Fact 71. Training for calm in uncertainty. Before anyone leaves the planet, they learn how to be comfortable with the unknown. Simulations present challenges, alarms, system failures, unexpected complications, not to frighten, but to teach. Each scenario helps astronauts learn how to breathe through uncertainty, how to pause, how to choose patience over reaction. They practice speaking softly when tension is high. They practice listening as much as acting. They learn that fear does not have to drive the moment. It can be acknowledged, understood, and gently set aside. This training is not just for space. Many astronauts describe it as a lesson for life. That even on Earth, when days become overwhelming, the mind can return to the same quiet center. A breath in, a breath out, the world steadies, and the heart continues. Fact 72. The bond of crewmates. Living in space brings people close in a very unique way. Crews share small spaces, shared challenges, shared quiet moments of awe. They move in harmony, passing tools, preparing meals, checking equipment, like dancers who have learned the same gentle choreography. There is no room for ego here. Respect grows naturally, like the slow unfurling of a leaf toward light. They see each other at their most human, tired, joyful, reflective, curious. They learn what comforts one another, what brings ease, what sparks laughter. By the time the mission ends, they are not simply teammates. They are a kind of family, held together not by blood, but by experience shared in the silence of space. And long after they return to Earth, the connection remains, a quiet thread that time cannot loosen. Fact 73. The shared language of trust. On Earth, astronauts come from many places, cultures, and languages. But in space, trust becomes the language that holds everything together. Trust in one another's judgment. Trust in training. Trust in the gentle mutual understanding that each person is responsible not only for themselves, but for everyone around them. They learn to finish tasks side by side, to speak clearly and softly, to check one another's work without criticism, only care. A misplaced bolt, a forgotten step, a rushed movement could cause trouble. So teamwork becomes quiet, seamless, almost invisible. It is not about perfection. It is about presence, about knowing that the person beside you is steady, thoughtful, and with you fully. trust becomes a kind of gravity, holding everyone gently in place. Fact 74. Loneliness among the stars. Even surrounded by crewmates, there are moments when the stillness of space invites reflection. Looking out at the endless dark, an astronaut may feel a soft ache, not sadness, but vastness. A reminder of how small one person is against the backdrop of the cosmos. This feeling is tender, not frightening. It brings perspective, humility, clarity. The loneliness of space is not emptiness, but openness, a quiet space in which thoughts can stretch and breathe. Astronauts learn to sit with this spaciousness. They write in journals, listen to music, look at photos from home. The connection between space and Earth becomes a thread, thin but luminous, unbroken by distance. Loneliness in orbit teaches a gentle truth. We are always connected, even when we feel far away. And in that realization, the heart rests. Fact 75. The comfort of routine. The days aboard the station are structured with calm repetition. Wake, stretch, eat, work, exercise, share meals, rest, sleep. This rhythm brings comfort, a sense of belonging in a place where everything else floats freely. Tasks are not rushed. Time does not feel strict. Instead, the routine unfolds like waves, rising, falling, rising again. Even simple habits, making tea, checking equipment, writing a small note, carry grounding warmth. They remind astronauts of life's gentle patterns, of the steadiness that exists even when gravity does not. Routine in space is not confinement. It is peace, a soft, predictable heartbeat moving through each day. And within that heartbeat, astronauts find home, even far from Earth. Fact 76. The overview effect. There is a name for the transformation many astronauts describe after seeing Earth from space. The overview effect. It is not dramatic. It arrives quietly, like a tide rising over the shore of the mind. From orbit, there are no borders, no dividing lines, no countries, no differences marked on the surface of the world. There is only one planet, blue and shining, wrapped in a thin, fragile atmosphere like a breath held gently in the dark. Astronauts say that once they see Earth this way, something shifts. The heart softens. Compassion grows. The idea of us becomes larger than before. They return with a deeper sense of belonging, not to a place, but to a world. Fact 77. A planet wrapped in light. When the sun rises behind Earth, the planet glows with a delicate halo, a thin, electric blue arc of atmosphere. This band is incredibly small when seen from space, like the whisper of a veil around a jewel. It holds every weather pattern, every forest, every ocean, every life that has ever breathed. To see it from orbit is to understand just how precious and gentle that layer is. It protects us from cold, from heat, from the silence of space. It is our cradle, our shelter, our miracle of air. Astronauts often watch this halo in silence. They see how thin it is, how easy it would be to lose. And in that still moment, gratitude fills the mind. Slow, quiet, profound. The atmosphere becomes not just science, but tenderness. Fact 78. Feeling humanity as one story. Looking down from space, cities appear not as sharp, defined shapes, but as clusters of soft golden light. The patterns resemble constellations, familiar, glowing, connected by invisible pathways of people moving through their lives. Astronauts do not see nations. They see lights, homes, stories. They think of families gathering for meals, children waking to morning sun, friends laughing in parks, people dreaming of futures full of hope and wonder. From space, humanity appears not as many separate lives, but as one shared journey unfolding together. This realization does not fade. It stays, like a gentle warmth that lingers long after returning to Earth. To see the world from above is to understand that we are already connected, always have been, always will be. And in that understanding, the heart rests a little easier. Fact 79. Bringing space back into everyday life. When astronauts return to Earth, they bring more than memories. They bring perspective. The view of the planet from orbit lingers like a soft echo. The awareness of how small and fragile our world is settles into their daily choices. They may speak more gently. They may listen more deeply. They may treat others with a little more patience. Understanding that every person they meet is part of the same blue world they once watched from the stars. Even simple things feel different. The sound of wind through trees, the warmth of a cup held in two hands, the texture of soil, grass, water. Everyday life becomes full of quiet miracles, and gratitude becomes a natural language of the heart. Fact 80. Seeing the sky as a reminder. After living in space, astronauts rarely look at the sky the same way again. Where others see clouds or passing weather, they see layers, thin, delicate, meaningful. They remember how small that layer appeared from above, how fragile and luminous it was. On warm nights, many astronauts step outside just to look upward. They trace constellations they once saw without atmosphere between them. They recognize not just stars, but distance. The great, soft distances that hold galaxies in quiet suspension. The sky becomes a memory and a promise, a reminder that we live on a world floating in darkness, but surrounded always by light. And the heart finds comfort in knowing we are held gently in the vastness. Fact 81. Sharing the journey with others. Some astronauts speak to students. Some teach, some write, some simply live quietly. But all carry their experience forward in ways that touch others. They tell stories not to impress, but to inspire curiosity, peace, and connection. Their words encourage us to look up, to care for the planet, to see one another as fellow travelers, sharing the same home. When they describe floating at the window of the station, or drifting along the outer hull during a spacewalk, or watching a storm roll across the ocean far below, they offer more than information. They offer wonder, a reminder that discovery does not end, that exploration continues, that the universe is not something distant and unreachable, but something we are already a part of. Through their stories, the quiet beauty of space comes down to Earth, and the dream of the stars unfolds gently into our own hearts. Fact 82. Training the mind to be still. Being an astronaut requires a quiet kind of strength, the ability to calm the mind even when the environment is unfamiliar or overwhelming. During training on Earth, astronauts learn breathing techniques, mindfulness practices, and the art of focusing attention on a single moment. They practice staying centered during spinning simulations, during long underwater sessions, and during challenges that test balance and patience. These skills become invaluable in space, where the world outside the window can be vast and humbling, and where stillness is not just peaceful, it is essential. A steady mind supports careful decisions, clear communication, and safe, thoughtful movement. Over time, calm becomes something natural, like a deep, slow breath. A quiet mind becomes their anchor among the stars. Fact 83. Listening to the body's quiet signals. In orbit, the body speaks in subtle ways. Muscles soften without gravity. Fluids shift upward, creating pressure in the head. Appetite changes, sleep patterns drift, reflexes adjust. Astronauts learn to listen to these quiet signals, to stretch when the spine feels long and loose, to drink water when the face grows warm, to rest when thoughts become cloudy. Exercise becomes a gentle ritual, not for strength alone, but for balance and well-being. A treadmill harness holds the body down with straps, not gravity. A stationary bike keeps the heart steady. Elastic bands provide the resistance that Earth once gave freely. There is patience in this listening, a respect for the body's wisdom and its delicate partnership with space. The body adapts, and the astronaut adapts with it. Fact 84. The gift of being fully present. Many astronauts say that life in space teaches presence more clearly than anything else. There is no past to cling to, no future to rush toward. Only the moment unfolding, soft and steady all around. A sunrise arriving every 90 minutes. A piece of fruit floating gently through the air. A quiet conversation shared across cultures. A view of Earth drifting slowly beneath the window. Each moment becomes complete, whole, enough. This presence follows astronauts home, into daily life, into conversations, into the way they look at the world. They learn to pause before speaking, to notice small joys, to see beauty in ordinary things. Space offers a simple lesson, whispered gently. This moment is the only one you are living. Let it be full. Let it be calm. Let it be yours. Fact 85. Writing among the stars. Many astronauts keep journals while they are in space. Not formal logs of tasks and schedules, but quiet reflections, notes about feelings, small wonders, and gentle observations. They write about how fruit tastes differently without weight, about the way laughter floats, about the view of Earth during moments of stillness. The entries are often short, simple, and full of calm. Writing slows the mind. It allows emotions to settle, like dust drifting slowly in sunlight. It helps astronauts understand not just the science of their journey, but the meaning of it. What it feels like to be human in a place where humanity has only just begun to explore. The journal becomes a companion, a whispering record of days spent between worlds. Fact 86. Art in weightlessness. Creativity does not stop in space. It simply learns a new way to express itself. Some astronauts draw, letting pencils glide gently across paper that must be taped down so it won't float away. Some play musical instruments, guitars with straps that hold them close, flutes whose notes drift softly through the cabin. Others take photographs, capturing Earth in endless changing portraits. Sunrise, night lights, gentle storms, glowing atmosphere. One astronaut even painted with small, suspended droplets of color, letting them drift and blend like floating galaxies. In space, art is slower, more deliberate, more peaceful. There is no rush to finish, only the quiet joy of creation unfolding one soft moment at a time. Art becomes a way of grounding the heart when the body itself cannot be grounded by gravity. Fact 87. The joy of simple things. Life in space teaches astronauts to appreciate the smallest pleasures. A warm drink held in both hands, the sweetness of fruit, a familiar song drifting gently through the cabin, the soft feel of fresh clothes after weeks of routine. Without gravity, everything changes. And so the smallest, simplest experiences become deeply meaningful. A shared meal becomes a celebration. A message from home becomes a treasure. The sight of Earth becomes a moment of gratitude every single time. When astronauts return to Earth, this appreciation remains. They notice the sound of leaves in wind, the weight of their feet on the ground, the way shadows fall across a room. The simple things become extraordinary again, and life feels newly tender, newly precious, newly alive. Fact 88. Dreams in zero gravity. Sleep in space is different. The body does not sink into a mattress. It floats. Astronauts sleep in small sleeping bags that gently attach to the wall, the ceiling, or any surface at all, because without gravity, there is no up or down. Their arms drift softly in front of them, like they are floating underwater. Dreams can feel unusually vivid. Some astronauts dream of flying, only to wake and find that they already are. Others dream of Earth, of grass beneath their feet, of rain tapping softly on windows, of warm kitchens full of morning light. These dreams do not bring longing, they bring connection. They remind astronauts that home is never far, even when seen from 1,000 miles above. Dreams become bridges between worlds, gentle and luminous. Fact 89. Memory that holds the view. The sight of Earth from space settles deeply into memory, not as a single moment, but as a constant presence, a soft echo that lingers long after the mission ends. Astronauts do not need photographs to remember. The view remains clear and steady in their mind's inner sky. They remember the curve of the horizon, the delicate swirl of clouds, the thin blue line of atmosphere glowing like distant candlelight. They remember the sense of quiet, the silence that held everything. Memory becomes not just recollection, but reverence. Even years later, when life is busy and days are ordinary, they can close their eyes and return to that window, to that slow turning Earth, to that sense of peace. The memory is always there, waiting like a calm shoreline. Fact 90. Returning to ordinary wonder. After space, everyday life becomes extraordinary again. Rain feels like a miracle, tiny droplets glowing like silver beads. The weight of blankets feels comforting, grounding, warm. Walking becomes a celebration of balance and connection with the Earth. Astronauts often notice small things others overlook. The sound of birds in the morning, the way light falls across a table, the texture of bark on a tree, the scent of air after rain. They carry space inside them, not as distance, but as perspective. A soft, open awareness that life is delicate, precious, and interconnected. And because of this, they live with gentleness, with care, with appreciation for the quiet beauty of simply being alive. Space teaches many things, but perhaps the most profound is this: the ordinary is already full of wonder. Fact 91. The quiet. After the journey, after returning home, there is a stillness that settles in. Days that once moved in structured rhythms aboard the station now unfold softly and slowly. There are no daily checklists taped to walls, no tether lines drifting, no constant hum of life support fans. The silence of Earth feels different, fuller, deeper, layered with birdsong, wind, distant voices. Astronauts often take time to rest, to let their thoughts and bodies settle. There is no rush to explain, no need to hurry back into routine. Instead, there is reflection, the gentle kind that rises naturally when a great journey has ended. This quiet is not empty. It is peaceful. A soft landing, not just for the body, but for the heart. Fact 92. Sharing the wonder gently. When astronauts speak about their experience, they speak softly. Not because the story is fragile, but because it is meaningful. They choose words carefully, like placing small stones along a path for others to follow. They talk about floating, about working together, about drifting past windows that open to the entire Earth. They talk about how small troubles seemed from so far away, how the world looked whole, one continuous glowing sphere of shared existence. They do not speak to impress. They speak to remind that we are all part of something larger, something astonishing, something beautiful. Their stories do not ask us to look at them. They invite us to look up. Fact 93. The sky as a familiar friend. Even long after the mission is over, astronauts continue to look at the sky with a sense of kinship. The stars are not distant strangers. They are companions from a quiet voyage. The moon is not just a circle of light. It is a place that can be reached. The night is not darkness. It is depth and distance and possibility. They may stand in a backyard or on a balcony or in a quiet field and simply gaze upward, not searching for anything, but remembering. The sky becomes a reminder of both journey and return, of where they have been and where they still belong, of how small we are and how miraculous it is that we are here at all. And in that gentle looking, the heart rests easily. Fact 94. The earth beneath their feet. After months of floating, the feeling of standing can be profound. The ground offers resistance, steadiness, a quiet strength that rises through the soles of the feet. Astronauts often pause for a moment, simply to feel weight again, to feel anchored, to feel part of the planet rather than drifting above it. They notice the way knees bend under gravity, the way muscles respond, the way balance returns in slow, patient waves. Walking becomes something to appreciate rather than assume. Every step is its own small reunion with Earth. The body remembers, but the memory unfolds gently, like morning light, and with each step, belonging deepens. Fact 95. The sound of weather. On the space station, there is no wind, no rain against windows, no thunder rolling through open sky. The world outside is silent, and all sound comes from within. When astronauts return home, weather becomes something wondrous again. They hear leaves rustling, waves folding onto sand, rainfall tapping softly across rooftops. The sound of wind brushing past trees can feel like a song, familiar, comforting, endlessly alive. Weather reminds them that the earth is active and breathing. It moves, shifts, and stirs around us without pause. The atmosphere that appeared thin and delicate from orbit now surrounds them with sound and touch and scent. It is not noise. It is presence, a gentle reminder that the world is full of living motion. Fact 96. The warmth of being held. In space, hugs are careful, floating gestures, arms meeting gently, bodies drifting together rather than pressing close. When astronauts return, they feel the full warmth of an embrace for the first time in months, the weight of another person's arms, the grounded stillness of simply being held. There is something deeply human in that moment, a sense of return that does not need words or explanations. The body recognizes comfort instantly, the reassurance of touch, the steadiness of shared breath, the quiet anchoring of belonging. Astronauts often describe these first hugs as one of the most meaningful parts of coming home. Not because space was lonely, but because connection is part of what makes us human. The embrace says, without speaking, you were missed. You are here. You are home. Fact 97. Seeing Earth as a shared home. After traveling through space, astronauts often speak of Earth not as a collection of nations, but as one home. From orbit, there are no borders, no dividing lines, only mountains, oceans, forests, and clouds, all connected in one continuous breath. This realization grows slowly, like dawn, spreading soft light across the horizon. When astronauts return, they sometimes find themselves more aware of how precious the planet is. They may notice the clarity of water, the greenness of leaves, the softness of soil. They may speak about the atmosphere as though it is fragile glass, because they have seen it from the outside, thin and shimmering. Earth becomes something to be cared for, gently and together, not because it is rare, but because it is home. Fact 98. Carrying space within the heart. The experience of space does not end when the mission does. It lingers quietly, steadily, like a soft glow inside the chest. Astronauts carry the memory of floating, the image of the planet turning slowly beneath them, the silence of the void that was not empty, but full of presence. They carry the feeling of watching storms bloom over oceans from hundreds of miles above. They carry the awareness that humanity is small, but full of astonishing creativity and warmth. They carry the memory of laughter that floated, of meals shared like gentle rituals, of sunrise arriving again and again, endlessly. This memory becomes a guiding light, a reminder to move through the world with calm, gratitude, and wonder. Space becomes part of who they are. Fact 99. The return to everyday life. Life continues after the mission. Breakfast, conversations, laundry, errands, ordinary routines. But something within the astronaut has shifted. The ordinary becomes extraordinary again. A cup of tea is no longer just a cup of tea. It is warmth held in the hands. A walk outside is no longer just movement. It is the earth holding the body upright. The sky overhead is no longer just background. It is a familiar place they once visited. There is no need to talk about space constantly. The experience lives quietly, like calm water beneath the surface. They move through their days softer, slower, kinder, not because they are trying to be different, but because space has shown them how beautiful the world already is. And in that gentle awareness, life becomes a place to breathe, deeply and fully. Fact 100. The stars that call us back. Even after astronauts return to Earth and life settles into familiar rhythms, the stars remain a quiet invitation. Not a demand, not a challenge, but a whisper. A reminder that exploration is part of what it means to be human, to wonder, to reach, to dream gently of what lies beyond the horizon. Some astronauts will go back to space, others will not. But all of them carry the certainty that the universe is not distant or cold. It is vast, yes, but also welcoming, patient, and full of possibility. The stars become companions, steady, constant, and quietly shimmering in the night sky. And each time they lift their eyes to look upward, they remember. We are small, but we belong to something immeasurably beautiful. The journey never truly ends. It becomes part of the heart, soft, luminous, and forever guiding. And as our journey comes to a gentle close, I hope you found a bit of calm among the stars tonight. If you enjoyed drifting through these sleepy facts, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment below sharing what topic you'd love to fall asleep to next. When you're ready to keep dreaming, you can tap the video on your screen and continue your quiet voyage through the universe. For now, rest well, breathe softly, and let the night carry you into peaceful sleep. Sweet dreams, and see you among the stars.